But let's just put it in the Grin Plus mode, and then we've got temp. Jeez, 6, 5, 4, 3. Jeez. Oh, damn, that is quick. Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews. Welcome to another vlog and welcome to a new car review. And you'll see in the background a car that I've been excited for quite some time. And yes, it is an EV, but it's an EV that I'm getting really excited about. Heard so many good things, but I'm going to make my own judgment as to what I think in it. I've got on this kind of striking orange, so not the normal N kind of blue, baby blue colour, which is like performance blue, I believe. But yes, I've got the IONIQ i5N, which is like, say, hopefully going to be an absolutely epic car. All-wheel drive platform, 600 horsepower, 641 horsepower on the with the N kind of Grin N button as well. But yeah, it's an awesome looking car. Like I say, it does look like the N kind of package cars from Hyundai. They have, or Hyundai, I should say, and they've done a really good job with these cars of late. And I've loved every one that I've gone in, from the i30N to the i20. Now, in EV form, have they managed to smash it out of the park or do a really good job with a fast Uber EV? Yeah, let's go and find out. Is it a proper thoroughbred hot hatch or Uber hatch or whatever they call it, hyper hatch? Probably beyond that now, isn't it? 600 horsepower, more than things like an RS3. It's more akin to things like an RS6. It's insane. So anyway, I'm going to get on the drive. If you've got any questions, you know what to do. Hit us up in the comment section. And without further ado, let's go drive this beast. So yes, you join me inside the car now, and yes, I've got it in kind of full EV kind of stealth mode. So this car, yes, is a pure EV car, all-wheel drive platform, but it's a little bit naughty, and it can basically shift its power transfer to the rear wheels or completely, and you can put it in like a drift mode, or you can have it in its normal N mode or crazy mode, and it will be pretty much kind of somewhere around 70-30. So it's pretty wild, rear wheel bias car. And then you can kind of have it in different, more kind of neutral modes if you want. But this can be as safe and careful as you want it to be, or it can also be as crazy and as naughty as you want it to be. And with that, you can turn it into these modes where it basically does downshift auto blipping. Yes, there's no gears, obviously, it's all augmented, and it's not true and real, but it is pretty cool. So a downshift, it'll blip, it will basically have gear changes. You can have and use these paddles to actually change the gears or seem like you're changing gears. And it'll do these pops and crackles through those apparent gear changes, as well as kind of this auto blip and flat shift and everything you can think of. It'll even go as far to basically kick you in the back of the seat and thump you like a real manual H-pattern gearbox car would, which is just bizarre and insane. But I'm going to try that out. I can't wait to kind of see how this basically makes, you know, this car feel. I mean, like I say, it's a pure EV car, 600 horsepower, 641 on the N boost mode. I call it N boost mode. It's this N Grin boost mode. I basically press this red button. Everything in the cockpit and the interior is beautiful. It's really high end, and considering some people said it's expensive, and I think in today's world, I don't understand how you can say it's expensive. When you think of an RS6 or an RS4 being from 80 to 110,000 pounds for something that would be between 450 horsepower for the RS4 and near 600, around 600 for the RS6, this is 58 or circa 58,000 pounds RRP. So this is incredible value for the money, and I'll tell you why. One, the interior is really decent. It's exactly what you'd expect in a 60, 70,000 pound car. So it's got a really decently high-end interior. Everything you can think of that you want from a modern executive car, you've got in here: cup holders, NFC, charging, everything you can think of. These bucket seats are beautiful, figure hugging bucket seats, and they feel really comfortable. They don't feel too hard. They feel hard enough to kind of feel focused and track based, and which I like. But they're also soft enough to kind of go on a long journey, and they don't feel horrible and cumbersome like some bucket seats I've seen on other cars. but this car has a ridiculous amount of room in the rear for rear occupancy, both in the legs and the head, and it's got a huge boot as well. So it's a very practical wagon. And I say, if you don't want it to be naughty, you can put it in this normal mode and it's just super quiet, whisper quiet as you would get. And that's kind of some of the positives of an EV. But of course, I'm not a massive ambassador of an EV. I own multiple cars, including fibre, even, you know, high horsepower cars, as well as an EV. So I'm one of these guys that can kind of understand all worlds, I guess. But this is a very, very cool prospect. By and large, this car will do a good real range of about 200 miles. They do say it can do up to 260, so much like something like the higher end Cupra Borns that are available. But you know, with this power available on tap, and it seems to do a really good mile per kilowatt hour range, and I've found that. It's absolutely amazing, but the real piece de resistance is the fact that it is a purebred performance car. So I'm going to go more into that. I'm not going to go in depth into the ins and outs of every bit about this car, but the only thing I will say is, unlike some EVs, this feels very polished. I find that some EVs have come to market and they feel like they've been rushed to market. This car, you can tell, has had all the bods at N in Hyundai N division really racked their heads and spent ridiculous amount of time on this car, making it feel actually like a petrol combustion car when you really want it to be. And when I'm saying that, what I mean is fun. And that's what I love about it, the fact that it's a car that can do everything. And yes, it will still be really green, and by and large actually be, if you use it right and don't go to them really expensive fast chargers all the time, it'll actually be really cheap to run by and large. Like I say, service in life on things like this are you know, much more simple than say something like an RS6, for example, which is going to cost you a lot of money to own and maintain. This car is effectively like an RS3. Yes, it doesn't have the badge prestige if you're worried about that of, say, an Audi or a BMW. It doesn't really bother me that much, and actually of late Hyundai have been absolutely smashing it out of the park. And like I say, this feels really, really premium. Not just premium, it feels high-end premium in my opinion. Yes, not quite to the level of something like an RS6, but wow, is it quality in here, I have to say. And with that, I'm going to go more onto all the other things. Like I say, power, we said 600 horsepower, 641 on M boost mode. But what are the brakes like? I'm going to just push it a little bit in this normal mode. Jesus, it's quicker even in that mode. The brakes, they've got a nice feel to them. They're not too sharp like most EVs where you sometimes get that bite straight away, but it does feel unaugmented or more real and more true to a actual non-electric car, which I prefer. So there's a lot more feeling. It's not kind of numb and strange. And I do apologise for the lane assist. I'm going to probably not be able to delve into the menus to turn it off. But I'm going to quickly press it into the drive modes because I am going to not babble on too much more. Let's put it in sports mode, which it's in now. Jesus, I don't know whether you saw that, but the power this has got and the acceleration this has got is absolutely crazy. And I will try and test a 0-60 for you, but you'll probably see, as you can see on the roads, it is a little bit dewy. So this isn't the most perfect test conditions for seeing actually absolutely what this car can do all out, because although it's all-wheel drive and it's no excuse for the car because it is going to do a really good job, it is going to have minor limitations on a dewy road. It's starting to kind of dry out. There is still little spits of rain on my windscreen, but by and large, straight away already I can feel there's some serious grip levels on this car. I'll put it into boost mode. Ooh, and you can feel that extra 41 horsepower, I have to say. But I'm going to try and put it in some other modes. So I'm going to try and get some sounds on for you. Let's put it on these. There you go. So what I like about this steering wheel is it does look very Formula One cockpit-like in front of you. There's so many buttons on here, but all very well placed, very obvious. That's from anything from the infotainment setup and screen, which is this big, huge, lovely, crystal clear TFT type screen. Really, really clear all the way through on the interface, and very clear to use on the buttons here, but we're not going to be using it today. But the modes are great, and it also has these, like I say, paddle shifts for shifting, which I'll show you in a minute as well. But it also has these little 2 N buttons down the bottom as well, which I love, which effectively a bit like the M buttons on a BMW M car, a full-blooded M car. You can basically program all the kind of settings that you want, from the flat shift, from the sounds, the piped-in sounds, to the modes and suspension, etc. as well, which has nearly every one of those things that I've mentioned. All has adjustability, brakes, suspension, and I'll give you more information about stuff like that in the bio. But let's push this on, because I don't want to have this review being too long. But again, like I said before, let us know if you want us to ask any questions, or you want to ask us any questions. Hit us up in the comment section. Got a lovely heads-up display just in front of me now, and I'm in like an auto mode, but with all the sounds on, and I've got this beautiful twisty road. And it is a very testing road, and I've got to be careful, because this is, I mean, this is a stupidly fast car, and, you know, dewy, so we can get in some... Jesus, this car's quick. And you won't probably be able to see it from the from my video, I wouldn't have thought, but yes, those fake or faux gears and the way it basically kicks is just brilliant. So if you put it in that mode, you can have it with all the sounds on. You can have it in the wildest, quickest mode. Now, the quickest mode is going to be the seamless mode, where you haven't got the gear changes, because when it's actually doing those little thumps and that it basically will do exactly like what a H-Pan car will do. It will have that little delay and then a thump in your back, and it will be limiting your progress. So what is from what I hear, a low 11-second quarter-mile car, which is crazy, at something like 125 mile an hour. I suspect with those blips, it'd be up in the high 11s or low 12s, so it's going to be slower. But let's just put it in the Grin Plus mode, and then we've got 10. Whoa, jeez. 6, 5, 4, 3. Jeez. Oh, damn, that is quick. This has got still battery regen through braking, through deceleration. It's got everything you can think of, including loads of screens that give you readouts from, you know, motor temps, front and rear, battery temp. It's unbelievable. And I've seen videos of this Misha on the Nürburgring, and this car has been lapping multiple laps non-stop without any heat issues. And another amazing thing about this is it's one thing that's overlooked on a track day. And some people, I think Chris Harris mentioned that you can't, or probably wouldn't be able to take this on track day because it's 2.2 tons, and you don't feel that way, don't get me wrong, but actually Misha has proven that you can take it on for multiple laps, and it seems to do well with battery life, which no EV has ever done on track. So they manage how efficient this is with its battery life through thermal temperature control, and loads of different sophisticated things. It is absolutely incredible. And one of the beauties of an EV, I suppose, which, you know, some people would say, you know, doesn't exist because they don't want to concede that a petrol combustion car is, you know, not going to be quite as good as an EV in this situation. But let me tell you, this is... Oh, it's wheel spin. But the grip is phenomenal. That is a dewy road, and I tell you what, brakes are lovely, and they're big. They're very big. I'll show you on screen what size they are. I think they're probably up near around 380. But wow, this car is quick, and wow, this car is capable. It is absolutely amazing. And what I was going to say is, yes, because there's no engine, no radiators that give off loads of heat, one thing a lot of people forget about on the track day is it's not only the how much you're pushing the front tyres when they start to almost like overheat. You get a lot of thermal heat from the radiators and the motor that actually find their way onto the tyres, and that's why some cars you can go through, you know, on a track day sometimes. A whole set of tyres on a heavy car, especially something 2.2 tons, it would be, you could lunch a set of tyres, or you'd expect to. See if it goes sideways a little bit. You could lunch a set of tyres. Sorry, that's just a bit of drift mode coming out of there. Absolutely amazing. This car is phenomenal. But yeah, you could get overheating tyres very easy on a big heavy car. This at 2.2 thousand kilograms is manages the heat and transfer of the chassis and everything so well, and also doesn't have the heat in the front. And for that reason, the tyre life, even when pushing hard on this car, especially on track, versus a petrol combustion car, is nothing short of staggering. And I've seen it. It's not BS. This is real world, real tested stuff from people like Misha and other people who have developed even more things on this car. It's just incredible, and I'm loving it. I am really enjoying this car. Now I'm going to shut up a little bit more, and I want to push it again. I'm going to use the paddles again in a minute as well, just to see how it feels with the paddles now. All right, so I've knocked it down to first. Cool, you get a lot more jolt with the you get a lot more jolt with that changing, or at least maybe you're feeling it. But what the bods at Hyundai and N have done is manufacture and make a car and fettle the car so well that it genuinely, if you didn't know this was an EV and you put it on that mode, a lot of cars have augmented sound now. I honestly would say it would be very hard. It would be very hard to tell that this is a pure EV and not a hybrid or a petrol combustion car, full stop. And that is testament to the bods at N, because I tell you what, genuinely, this does deserve the hype it gets. And for £58,000, honestly, I would buy one. I would genuinely buy one. I'm not a huge ambassador. Yes, I have an EV, but I would still pick some or a lot of petrol combustion cars over most EVs. But this one, £58,000, actually feels and sounds like a bargain. So, and it even has lag. And it has a limiter, and it'll bounce off the limiter, and you almost feel like you're going to do the car some damage or hurt a clutch, but you're not. You're obviously not. It's just holding it back electronically. So it's now gone into an auto mode. It has lag just like a turbocharged car would, and I'll do it now again. If I'm at 2,000 RPM in second. It's not terrible, but it only starts getting going. And it almost has that boost by gear feel as well, like some really high-end cars like McLaren's have. It gives or limits power in lower gears and then gives you almost full power in third. Honestly, I don't want to make this... Bit egg. It's still dewy, like I said. You could hear the traction control kicking in and the car just kicking out and sliding there a little bit, but I don't want to make this this video too lengthy, but I just want to keep driving this car. I want to have it round track. I want to have this in my life for a longer period of time, and I want to exploit the absolute limits of this car. I am and have been, because you saw just there, but the grip levels and power and the way it puts that power down is nothing short of absolute mind-bending amazement. I think that didn't even make sense, but kick it down a gear, an artificial brake gear. Oh my word, this car is, yeah, I'm not going to clap. I'm going to do a kind of telekinesis clap there to the guys at Hyundai. Wow. Let's give it one little dance around this this roundabout before we sign off. Love that. Let's see what grip we've got. Drift, drift, drift! Yes, it's drifting! And then I've got a shift. Wow. Honestly, guys, honestly, I'm telling you now, just with the little bit of driving I've just done on that back road, and then just to see what that does around like a roundabout when you want to dance it around there. It's so composed and so controlled. Lag in third, power. Crest. Better slow down for this crest because we've got to make a corner. Flipping heck. What a car. Can feel on the dry line, the grip is unbelievable. You get some of these dewy little bits and it's just a little bit dancey, but you'd expect so with 640 horsepower. Brake, drop down. Let's put it on the grin mode, give it another 41 horsepower. Woo! It's gone into the quiet mode. Wow. Wow. What a machine. This is the first car, EV wise, and don't get me wrong, there's some great EVs out there. There's brilliant EVs. I'm not going to take back some of the things I've said about some of those great EVs, but wow, honestly, this is the first car, genuinely EV car, that is next level. It is genuinely one of those cars that just, yes, it's not a Porsche GT3 RS or something like that, but, and some people talk about it a bit like that, and that's a bit too extreme, but in terms of the realms of cars that are somewhere around £100,000, especially 60, 70, £80,000, sports EVs, sports cars in general, hot hatches, hyper hatches, this car is absolutely up there with the best, 100% in every single way. Well done, well done, well done, Hyundai. I want one now, I really do, and yeah, I'm going to give it a peak performance reviews rating of 96%. That is in its segment, but even isolated in every segment, if you put it in with petrol combustion cars, this would be a 90, 91% type car. This car is one of the best cars I've driven for a long, long time. Well done, Hyundai. What a car. So that is the end of our review with the IONIQ i5N, and I have to say, what haven't I already said about this car? Oh my God, I want one so badly, and wow. Yeah, I'm going to give it a peak performance reviews rating of 96, isolated maybe in its segment, but even if you put it in with all the other cars in all segments, it's 90, 91 percentile I'm going to put it at. This car is absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, like I said, I want one. There's not really much more to say about it. It's one of those cars that I just think is probably one of the best cars I've ever driven, and I put it in that kind of bracket, and there or thereabouts of the absolute best. And for that reason, yeah, I want one. Yeah, shouldn't they either give me one or let me have one and loan one for a lot longer and maybe take it out on track? But yeah, you've absolutely smashed it out of the park. N division of Hyundai. Wow. And yeah, what a car. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you again in the next one. Bye for now.